Hi, so good afternoon. Hi, how are you, everybody? This is a Ken O from Canton Chambers Lawyers. This is a Facebook Live, and then today is 5th of December 2018. We are almost end of this year now, and uh, in a few weeks we are going to Christmas, and then somebody may know that in New Zealand, end of year from Christmas time we break start, and then most of places are closed down for 2 weeks, including for government and also all other places. And many private sector they close for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes close for 4 weeks. So we got a big holiday here in New Zealand. This is one of the most favorite benefits to working here in New Zealand. So end of year, you can spend all your time with your family together, and this is very good life here in New Zealand. Also, this is for link to today's topic as working as a nurse in New Zealand, and also was a life here in New Zealand as well. Today, I can make some very brief explanation of the nurse, and then for the residence visa here in New Zealand and migration here in New Zealand. I talked about the nurse many times earlier, and in New Zealand for health industry is most of funded by government. So New Zealand government collect lots of taxes from all the taxpayers, and they use for huge amount of money for social welfare system, especially for health industry. So as you know, in New Zealand, if you got a sick and then if you got a hospitalized, and then all the cost is free. This is a government funded healthcare system. So if you are New Zealand citizen, or if you are New Zealand residence visa holder, once you got some sick and then got hospitalized, and then this is all the government fund. Like that means you don't have to pay any money for your medical costs. Also, if you got a work visa here in New Zealand, and if you got a more than 2 years work visa, and then you also enjoy as a domestic medical benefit systems here in New Zealand. So there are so many health industry working people. Nurses are one of that industry as well. In New Zealand, we need a huge number of the nurses are required for helping all the in the health industry. So uh, so I know for in all of the world, and then all the nurses are big demands, and especially for in New Zealand, it's a really big demands. And also New Zealand is like a top, not a big top in any way. Like in New Zealand, payment of nurses are quite high compared to other countries. I see some databases, and then New Zealand is also like a higher payment of the nurse in the world. So as a nurse in New Zealand, for working hard is also required. So every place is like a working hour is 8 hours a day. So one day is 24 hours. That means in a hospital you got a 3 shift there. Some difficulties that's for covering for the morning day shift, evening shift, and the night shift. So young ladies or young people, and then they are quite happy to cover for the night shift, and then for change it, and then sleep, and then recover the life quickly. But when you get some ages, and then recovering speed is a little like slower. And also, if you got any like family members, for example children, and they feel like difficult to take any work in a night shift. So many people in this situation, they resign, and then they move to another place, or they find another job in the cases. That is the reason why for so many nurses are required here in New Zealand. And also in New Zealand, we got a very good for superannuation the system. So when you get for 65 years old in New Zealand, and then government will pay for superannuation, and then until you die. That means if you are get old, and then if you get old, and then you need to go for retirement village, and then still you need a care by for caregiver, and then also you need to cared by for nurse, and then in the case lots of nurses are required for aged people as well. So there are so many places for their needing of the nurses here in New Zealand. Also, some regulations there. Some places you have to get a registered nurse certain numbers for get any benefit from the government. So all the employers who need a nurse, and then they have to meet the requirement of a registered nurse, and also they are very struggling. I know for some places for one nurse like a covering for more than 40 hours because of a short of a registered nurse. So this is a reality here in New Zealand. So if you got some qualified nurse in overseas, and then we are welcome to come to New Zealand, and then you can enjoy for working as a nurse here in New Zealand. So I have already explained to you last week who will be qualified for registered here in New Zealand, and then how to register here in New Zealand as a nurse. But today's we are talking to more talk about for working as a nurse, and then so what is their life here in New Zealand. Then this is a more realistic life here in New Zealand as a nurse, and then this is not much of any visa matters today. But in anyway, so many people from overseas, they are maybe like interest or curious of, okay, what is the life in New Zealand as a nurse, right? And today we are going to more talk about some question and answers type, and then Dan will ask some questions from clients or many people overseas. They send lots of 4 questions. Then he will make a summary and then make some questions to us.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sir, number 1 questions. How can a registered nurse who is from overseas get a residency visa?
Okay, maybe I can give some very quickly a summary for that we did for this topic last week. And then before that's hi Maxil, and then it's nice to see you again. And then for what is that?
JC.
JC. Okay, it's nice to see you. And then keep sharing for our Facebook Live. And okay, the topic how to be registered here in New Zealand, and then how can be get a residence visa. Yeah, the residence visa side first, and then in New Zealand, if you register here in New Zealand as a nurse, and then that means that you can easily find a job here in New Zealand. So once you got a job, and then we can apply for your residence visa under the skilled migrant category. Skilled migrant category is a point system, right? So if you are, what is your age? We got some point. What is your qualification? We got a point. And then what is your experience? We got some point. What is your like a job offer you have? This is point. This is a major 4 area. You can get the point here. So once you registered here in New Zealand as a nurse, and then you got and also if you got a job offer here in New Zealand, and then you are qualified for the residence visa here in New Zealand. Most difficult factors for applying the residence visa in New Zealand under the skilled migrant categories for job offer, which is relevant to your experience or your qualification. That means once you register as a nurse and then got a job as a nurse, then almost you got the point for success of your residence visa application here in New Zealand. Okay, so I can briefly that, and then for registration in New Zealand as a nurse is for you need to be registered a nurse in your country, and then you have to get some at least for bachelor degree of the nurse, and then you have to get some at least 2 years work experience as a nurse in last 5 years, and then also most important things for English requirement, IELTS academic 7.0 over, and all band shall be over 7.0. Then this is a most important requirement. And then once you meet this requirement, and then we can help you for documentation process first, and then nurse council will give us some make assessment. If you meet all the requirement, then they will give some invitation for CAP course, and then you can come to New Zealand and then finish for CAP course, and then so you will be finally registered here in New Zealand. This is a brief requirement. Yep.
Now I see, sir. Okay, sir. So the question, sir, is might be mostly our nursing or potential nurse who would like to come and experience the life of New Zealand. They're asking about the kind of safe environment. What can you say about safe environment here in New Zealand for our nurse?
All right. Okay. Not only for nurse, and then life here in New Zealand, I can say this is a really wonderful, wonderful country, and then socially, environmentally, very good and then safe here in New Zealand. I don't know who asked for questions regarding any safety issue, but I can say in New Zealand is a really safe country, right? Uh, New Zealand people are very kind, and then people are very kind, and then we don't have any like a big criminal issues for maybe I mean the very serious criminal issue for example any murder or like some very serious criminal issues are very the less here in New Zealand. And then so I can say in the evening, and then we can still like walk around even though like without any like some problem there. So this is very safe, and then most of houses doesn't have any fence, like we don't have any fence, and then some like houses have a fence, but like most of New Zealand traditional like house, we don't have any fence, but only for garden, and then the grass, and then so you can easily access to the property, and a very open mind and open society. So also like a work as a nurse in the hospital. Also, we got a very high like human, I mean HL like systems here, and there's a very high employment regulation rules apply here, and then all the employees are well protected by the government, and then also like the laws here in New Zealand. So I think for working here in New Zealand, living here in New Zealand, most of are very safe and a very good environment, including for nurse. And then I don't say any especially for nurse, right? And most of people are working here in New Zealand well. They enjoy very good, safe life, and it's a very working life, and then their personal life as well. Yeah.
That's good, sir. How about the quality of life? Those for those who are nurse, who quality of life with themselves, quality of life for their families. How can you say about these things, sir?
Okay, this is a very interesting questions, and then I can say in New Zealand, it's the weather and then environment is really really good. I like it very much, and then so compared to other country, and I think New Zealand is a really blessed country. We've got a very clean air, very good sunshine, and the temperatures are quite good, reasonable, and it's especially in summertime. We've got a very good bright sun, and then so not much humidity, so it's a very cool and then very bright. So living in New Zealand is overall is a very excellent, very high quality. And then we got a big land compared to other country, and also we got a small number of the population. Then we are not very crowded, and then all the natural environment is really excellent. All the greens, all the trees are very, I mean, very nutritious, and then looks very alive. And then so every place you got a very close for like a beach, like a very good water, and then very good sea, and then the sea is very the clean, and then you go and then fishing, and then you get to eat the fish from there, and then water is also very clean, and then from your place for beach is very close, and then this is very nice, very the good beach there, and then the very nice. So however, some people can enjoy this very good like environment and then good weather. Some people don't couldn't enjoy that such environment. For example, there are so many parks around your place, even though small one we call the reserve, and there's a little good one is like a park. And there are so many parks, and then there are so many reserves around you, and then they have a very good for rest place for such as for bench or like barbecue systems, and then but if you enjoy yourself, for example, like you can bring your own barbecue, a small food, and bring it and then go there and then just like a barbecue there, and then you can enjoy. However, how you got some enjoy yourself, how much you're some active, and how much you are some diligent, and then you can enjoy very good life here in New Zealand. But some people, oh, like okay, I'm a lazy, and I just like to stay at home and then for relax. But in that case, you can enjoy of your only for your living place, right? But if you like move a little, like pay any some attention, then maybe you can bring some food with your children, like with your family members or friends. Go to very near of the park, right? And then so very close to for your place. There are so many reserves, so many like beaches there. Then wherever you go there, and there are lots of benches there, chairs there, and then sharing for like your friends for the food, and then like that. And this is a very nice. And then many of the Kiwi people, like they come out with their family members, and then they can enjoy for the beach life and then park life, and then with a very sometimes a simple food, and then just like a drink wine, and then excuse me. Yeah, yeah, it's a very I like New Zealand very much in the anyway, right? Yeah.
So my question is the follow-up question about quality of life. Some of our nurses, they are really prioritize their family, bringing with them together in New Zealand. The question is, sir, what are the quality of life awaits for their family when it comes of in a long-term future?
All right, okay. I can say your family life here in New Zealand also like a very good, very excellent. And then New Zealand is one of the top country where living like in a best place, right? Yeah, one of the best place to live in the world. So that means your children can come get a very good for education, very high quality education here in New Zealand. Also, your working hour is usually around like some 40 hours per week, and then so 5 days a week. But news is for like a shifting the problem there. But in any way, you can have so many hours to spend with your family members in New Zealand. Usually, most of job, and then you can spend a good time, good spend time with your family, especially for your children. So this is one of the best country, and also you can enjoy like a good like outdoor activities, right? with your children, for example, for kayak or
Fishing.
like a fishing, and then some any the sport like soccer, and then the rugby, and then for golf, and also like some trekking as well for or working on a beach. Well,
Mm.
and then you can like there are so many activities here in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
So with your children, and then if you find many activities, also like many places, even though I have been living here in New Zealand for about 26 years, but still there are so many places to visit. And
Mm.
wherever you visit, and this is really beautiful, like really nice. Oh my God, this is a fantastic. I'm a really blessed to live here in New Zealand, right? And
So do
yeah,
I, sir.
yeah, yeah.
Sir, concerning about the kind of people that normally migrants are coming here, how do you can say about mingling with them? They feel a little bit like set aside, or it's open whether what kind of nationality are you? They are accepted.
Yeah, I heard that's one of that statistics. Then New Zealand is like a top country where of most diversity of like ethnics or nationals. I see for in New Zealand is for like united in almost for same or almost for just a few numbers are short of United Nations number.
Mm.
That means for so many ethnics or so many nationalists for come to New Zealand, we are living together. Means for majority is for European, and then also like Maori people, but there are so many minority minor communities for such as for Chinese, Indian community, for Filipino, and also Korean, Japanese, for many other small communities there. Most of people are working here, living here harmoniously for together. So this country is a very like a welcome of the new migrant, and then most of people are very kind, like a very open mind. But some like a big city like in Auckland, some people are maybe uh, only a few people, right? Not kind to new migrant, but this is not a big issue. But however, a majority of the people living in New Zealand, most of people living in New Zealand, they are all open mind. They are always kind, and then so welcome for new migrant. Right? This is a New Zealand is like a building up with a new migrant for other people. So we got so many other countries people come and then living together. So we are welcome all the migrants, right? This is your country, okay?
Mhm. And the last question, sir. We're talking about the relaxed space. You have mentioned about fishing and some outdoor activities. Maybe you can tell us some of the best places that you've been there that you really like most and you can share with our viewers here. What are those places you've been in you really like to recommend it to go there?
All right, okay. In New Zealand, we got a big two islands country. We call this North Island. This is South Island. North Island is more people living here, and then because we are southern hemisphere, and then if you like a northern is more close for like the warm and hot weather. So if you go any southern, then this is more cold. So many people are living in like a North Island, especially in Auckland is the biggest commercial city, and then more than a third people are living here in New Zealand, in Auckland. Okay, so I can say, like in North Island, there are so many beautiful places for like Coromandel area is also really good place, and then for Bay of Plenty is a very good place. I mean, this is for like some reason, right? The area, big area, and also I can see every place in New Zealand, like some wherever you go, like some this is really beautiful. And then Rotorua is for most famous for like a tourist place, and then every year about 3.5 to 4 million visitors are visiting in Rotorua, and then this also you can find some good Maori peoples for the culture, and then the village, and then their like heritage as well. And also Taupo is also really beautiful, and then Tongariro is a really good place, and then that place is for like the place where took the film of the Lord of the Rings. And also if you go to like the South Island, and the most famous place is Queenstown and Milford Sound, and also like east coast of like South Island, they're really beautiful, and all the beaches really nice. And then every place, also like Picton and Nelson area is also beautiful. It's really beautiful. And then in the South Island, the Marlborough area is really good sunny and then bright, and then so grape is a really good nice. And then from their wine is a very excellent. In North Island also like what's that Gisborne area. In this is also we call the Hawke's Bay, and the Napier is also really sunny and nice. And then in the Hawke's Bay area, wine is really nice. And then any wine from the Hawke's Bay or Marlborough, that's like a guaranteed the taste.
I think I'm gonna be thirsty.
Yeah. So everywhere, like even the small place, you go there and there's all the beautiful and then nice. And then I like New Zealand very much. Yeah. So like in a South Island is if you go there, somebody told that okay, South Island is for mixture of Switzerland, and then for American the Grand Canyon, so big of the Grand Canyon, plus for Swiss of the very small and tiny, like beautiful. They got all combined. One is for the South Island, right?
That's very beautiful.
I like the South Island very much, and then when you travel, you like it.
That's very nice. So may I request, if possible, you can greet our viewers who have been continuously supporting our Facebook Live.
Okay. Also, Nika, so again, okay, it's very nice to see you again. Yeah. So Maxwell, thank you always for coming to us. Yeah. Okay. If you have any other questions and then any inquiries and then visa matter, and then please send us email for like a visa apply at cantonlaw.co.nz. You can see there, right? Visa apply at cantonlaw.co.nz. Send the email to us, and then please do for our main page, and then like and share, and then this is good for you. And then we are going to update of our new information to you. Thank you so much, and then see you next time. Also, be prepared of your Christmas well. Okay, so very excited, and then thank you. Bye bye.